everyone. This is Kirti. I am an SRIT student. Today I am going to explain about debroglie hypothesis. Is it in the topic of engineering physics? I am from the department of EC branch. Let us discuss. Today I am going to already tell debroglie hypothesis. Let us discuss. Every moving particle behaves like a wave as well as like a particle. What is wave? A wave is a disturbance of motion in medium. So every moving particle behaves like a wave as well as like a particle. This means that not only a light but all matter particles like electrons, protons and atoms show wave nature when they move. When particles are moved, they show the wave nature. And light shows dual nature. Dual means like two natures. It behaves like a wave and also like a particle. Inspired by this, a French scientist Louis de Broglie in 1924 proposed that not only a light but all moving material particles show wave nature. The scientist Louis de Broglie in 1924 proposed that not only a light but all the moving materials particles like electrons, protons and atoms show the wave nature. This idea is called as the de Broglie hypothesis, and here is the small diagram, and is a photon and two photons and charged particle. If this photon is on a collision course, this photon is after collision and it is a charged particle. So here is a small diagram, and let us discuss about the de Broglie wavelength. Every particle is moving associated with a wave. We already know wave, the disturbance in medium. So every particle is associated. Particle we already discussed, electrons, protons, atoms. Is every proton is associated with a wave. The wavelength of wave is known as the de Broglie hypothesis. The de Broglie wavelength, here is a diagram. It is in a circular motion, and lambda is equal to h by p. H by p we already, it is a general formula. P is momentum. The general formula of momentum is mass into velocity. Here lambda it is a symbol. H is equal to Planck's constant. The Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power of 34 joule per second. And P is momentum and M is mass. V is nothing but a speed or velocity. Here it is circular diagram. If any circular diagram, we always conclude radius. So here R is radius. N is equal to the turns. So then the meaning of formula, if mass is large, wavelength is very small. We already know wavelength, the wavelength and length of wave. So if mass is large, wavelength is very small, then wave nature does not visible. For small particles like electrons, wavelength is electrons, protons and atoms, wavelength is measurable. Wave nature is clearly observed. Thus electrons behave like both particle and waves. So for a small particle like electrons, protons and atoms, wavelength is measurable. If which one have wavelength is measurable, that clearly both acts like particles and waves. This is the meaning of formula. And let us discuss about explanation about the de Broglie hypothesis. The de Broglie hypothesis was proposed by the French physicist Louis de Broglie in 1924. He suggests that every moving particle is associated with a wave. Before this idea, light was known as showed dual nature. We already discussed his idea. De Broglie extended this concept to matter particles such as electrons, protons and atoms, stating that the two exhibit wave particle and duality. Here we know about the wave and wavelength and also his idea. Before this idea, light was known to show this dual nature. Dual means like either act as like a wave or particle, like both wave and particle. So here is experimental proof. The hypothesis was confirmed by the Davison-German experiment in 1927. In this experiment, electrons were diffracted by a crystal. This crystal means it is a cubic crystal and producing wave like interference pattern. We already know what is interference. In Newton's rings, in thin film is a Newton's rings and thin film we use interference. It is a phenomenon, and proving that electron behave like a waves. And now let us discuss about importance. De Broglie hypothesis is important. Why? Because it gave birth to quantum number mechanics. It explains atomic structure. We all know atomic structure, and it is a basic principle behind electron microscope. It establishes wave particle duality of matter. Here it is, these are the and so many, but here we go some points. Importance of the de Broglie hypothesis. And finally, conclusion. To conclude that de Broglie proved that wave nature is not limited to light alone. Even matter and we know discuss matter behaves as a wave. We already know what is wave. It is a disturbance, and de Broglie proved that wave nature is not limited to light alone, and matter behaves as a wave. Thank you for this opportunity to explain about the de Broglie hypothesis from my version.